And I'm here at the Belleville High School athletics entrance where all after-school activities appear to be running as normal. The National Weather Service said to expect 8 to 12 inches of snow. And if you look down at my boots, we got just that. You said there were some succulents in here that we should take a look at?
Definitely.
The Williamson Middle School precinct accepted 2 voters past the 8 p.m. deadline. Well, I'm excited because I love Crater National Park. Manager Nicola said the potato bacon pizza is the most popular option. Coming up on Focal Point, I'll show you how one organization is making Spartan Stadium different with food. We are still digging out. It turned out to be the snowiest February day in mid-Michigan in 22 years. Some spots in East Lansing got 16 inches. The storm made driving at night treacherous. It seemed a snowball fight got a little more traction, whether they enjoyed it or not.
What up?
Not me. Anyways, we regret being out here.
The National Weather Service said to expect 8 to 12 inches of snow. And if you look down at my boots, we got just that. Look at my ankles. Some are clearing up the mess. And for some, fun means helping others.
We're clearing driveways, we're clearing people's walkways.
One scoop at a time. Adam Green heads a group called Uniservices. He likes giving back in a time of need. He's also making some money for college. Even when that need has 4 legs?
Chucky?
That's right.
We are clearing off an area for their dog to go to the bathroom outside.
But there's more to the business.
It's important that students can come over and help clients like this. Some clients are less able, they have disabilities, and it's hard for them to shovel the snow.
In East Lansing, Brian Goldsmith, Focal Point News.
Bleeding out. He's got stab wounds in his neck and in his chest.
It reads like a murder mystery, but it's a true story.
Dave Bankhead here
He said, this guy's a monster. It should not get up.
was the original responding officer to the Gilbert home that day. He stabbed her.
Rod Sadler wrote the book called Killing Women and talked about it at the Charlotte Library this past weekend.
Ritualistic killing by someone.
The author is talking about the serial killer who admitted killing 4 East Lansing women in the late 70s.
The connection. So he cut off her hands to get the handcuffs back.
Sadler is tired of worrying that Don Miller will get out of prison, but Angela Whitwer is doing something about it.
This was very close to my heart, and I've had other people in my family be victims of very brutal crimes.
State Representative Whitwer sponsored one of 2 bills. Currently, in the Michigan legislature, it would give the parole board power to delay a prisoner's parole hearing up to 5 years.
He has to be considered, but when you look at the totality of the circumstances of this individual, he's not one who should receive parole.
The serial killer is scheduled to be released in 2031, but this spring will be the 2nd year in a row the parole board has to consider letting him out early. Douglas Lloyd is an Eden County prosecutor.
Just watch out.
He says all that does is re-victimize the victims.
Why are we re-traumatizing these victims and these victims' families with him being considered for parole every year?
The other thing,
If the bills pass, it will give victims and their families a little more time between parole hearings.
Well, just to get it out that more people, everybody can write to the parole board, that they're not realizing that this man could be out, in our midst, within our lifetime.
And Gene said,
In the meantime, Rod Sadler will continue to speak about the serial killer who shouldn't get parole anytime soon.
I would say.
Just as a follow-up to that,
In Charlotte, Brian Goldsmith, Focal Point News.
to the best of your knowledge,
The signs are everywhere. Businesses are continually looking for help, and they are struggling. Limited hours, businesses closed for good or for extended time periods seem to be the norm these days. At MSU, the university opened the fall semester 1,200 workers short in the dining halls, prompting closures and hour adjustments. Some, like Michigan State's facilities team, struggling more than others.
And opening up for fall, we were probably 25% or more short from being full staffed.
But MSU facilities manager Mike Gardner is up for the challenge.
Rebuilding our student staff. We used to have, a couple hundred student employees across the department.
But now they have about half of that.
I think we have less than 100 now.
They've tried to recruit,
We've had 2 hiring fairs so far.
but even with large turnouts, it hasn't changed the need for workers.
I believe the last one that we had about 300 people show up.
MSU held their third fair on Friday.
So we are still actively seeking more people to join our team.
Including George Felix, who was hired on the spot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Went way smoother than I thought it was. Wasn't expecting to fill out my I-9s today and everything. So.
Behind me is the hiring fair at Munn Ice Arena, where businesses like MSU Student Life and Engagement are getting creative with their outreach programs. For East Lansing businesses, it's been a challenge too. Foster's Coffee is having better luck.
Like a local run place, we actually get a good amount of people who want to work here, so it's just kind of like picking through the applications and everything for us.
But during the height of the pandemic, worker shortages were common.
During COVID, it was a little bit of a problem, but it was kind of weird because we would be short-staffed, but then when we needed people, it almost felt like we couldn't give them the hours that they wanted.
And limited hours didn't help.
We were only like doing limited hours, so we were kind of like short-staffed, but also if we hired people in, it wouldn't be like we needed the work.
In East Lansing, Brian Goldsmith, Focal Point News.